I channel 10% of the force.
Right.
The 90% comes from you, the willingness that you have to be healed. So my 10% sort of nudges you and says, okay, now I'm helping you here. Stand up and walk.
I personally believe that there are some events that happen in our life that shift your focus towards your own self. They trigger your self-awareness, and that's what I call spirituality. I also realized in that moment that I was placed around people who conducted their lives differently from the norm. Or let's just say, they looked at life from the prism of spirituality. And the first name that I could think of was Tanu auntie, who I have noticed over the years has just looked at everything from a spiritual angle. And when I decided to start Soul Safar, the Hindi Safar, with Bhaav, I could not have her on this podcast. So thank you so much, Tanu auntie, for joining me on this podcast today.
You're most welcome, Bhaav, and I'm thrilled to be here actually. It's an honor for me that you asked for me.
No, it's an honor for me that you've come to share.
Okay, we honor each other.
We are honoring each other. One thing that I want to ask you first is, what is spirituality according to you?
Spirituality for me means getting in touch with my spirit and experiencing everything with my spirit first and then physically.
Right. Does that make it difficult, because then you're a participant and an observer at the same time?
One has to be a participant and an observer.
Right.
So it is like there is one me here, and my higher self, that is again me, is observing what this me is doing.
Right.
So you have to be the observer and the participant.
Both at the same time.
At the same time.
This is my personal experience, because I've awakened to it in the last 2 years. Has it evolved for you over a period of time as you progressed in life?
Well, spirit doesn't evolve. You do.
Yeah, your awareness of spirit.
Yeah, it has to. It's like an experience. Suppose, I create my own experience. Right. And my spirit is watching me create that experience. So once I understood that, then the responsibility comes in. Then you're responsible for what you are doing to yourself in your life.
Right.
And I decided, okay, I'm a bit of an idiot. I tend to create these terribly difficult situations for myself, and I say, oh, I want to blame this one and I want to blame that one, and why are you doing this to me? I hear my friend up there telling me, he says, I didn't do anything. I gave you the brains to listen and do it for yourself, and you've done this to yourself.
Yeah.
And when you hear that, I laugh. I laugh at myself. I say, oh, you idiot, there you go again. So, life is about laughter also.
Yeah.
And that is, I feel, spirituality is all about being able to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
And with the world.
Yeah. You've actually given me two very, very interesting concepts. One is, you've added another dimension to the participant observer. You've added the dimension of creation. So spirituality is actually telling you, or reminding you, not telling you, it's reminding you that you are the creator, participant and the observer.
Yes.
And when you have the ability to switch roles constantly and look at it from a 360-degree perspective, you've kind of cracked the deal. In that sense.
Not really.
Not really?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
No, I've understood that this is what I need to do to crack that deal.
Yeah.
But it is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like घर भी है, बच्चे भी है, सब कुछ है, दुनिया भी है, दुनियादारी भी है.
Correct.
And it becomes very difficult. But I'm trying. I'll get there sometime.
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
And the second important thing you brought up is spirituality should be fun.
Of course. If your spirit is not fun, what's the
Yeah.
point in having it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure my higher self has laughed at me I don't know how many times, and that is my spirit.
Yeah.
What is fun? Fun is being joyful, having joy
Yeah.
in the fact that you're living a life. Wow.
Yeah.
It's the greatest gift that you've been given, that you are alive on this earth, in this beautiful environment that we have, which we are practically destroying. Don't want to talk about that, okay? But yeah, I mean, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
I'm
you
happy
look
to be here.
You
Yeah,
look happy.
I am.
You're like brimming with life.
Of course, and happiness and joy.
And joy.
Yeah.
There's another concept that I believe in, that we come into this world as a child with so much of joy, and then we go through all of life learning how to return back to that same joy that you came with in the first place. You forgot about it, and then you're just going through experience after experience only to return back.
Absolutely.
And if you think about it, I'm like, how foolish is that? I had it. I had it, and now I'm searching for it.
Yeah, well, you know, that's human beings.
That's human being.
कहते हैं ना कि भगवान ने बुद्धि दी है. बुद्धि means intellect. And अकल दी है means intelligence. You have to use your intellect intelligently. And it's innate in us, basically. All we have to do is put off the switch. Put it on, rather.
Yeah.
And switch off the computer.
Yeah.
Put on the switch within, which has the light. And switch off the computer that thinks about, I don't know, 25,000 100 things which don't mean anything at all.
With different apps working at the same
At
time.
the same time. Like you just told me, you become an animal communicator.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of people who are animal communicators. There are horse whisperers, there are all kinds of animal communicators. Okay? And I suddenly thought about it, and I said, how come suddenly people are becoming are able to communicate with animals?
Right.
Why? It's like me talking to my trees. I talk to my garden,
Right.
and I know they listen.
Yeah.
And I know they talk to me because I listen to them on a different level. How do we do that? And suddenly a thought occurs to me that maybe we were not here to rule this planet. We were here to look after it and to be in tune with every intelligence on this planet.
Right.
So why were we given this buddhi, this intellect and the intelligence? So that we could use that intellect intelligently to communicate with each and every life form
Yeah.
on this earth and be at peace.
And they say when you come, the veil of forgetting is put on you.
I know.
And that is created of.
I know that is also created.
Yeah.
I think, he's created, she or he or whatever is the creator of all that is, has created it so that, like you said, go around the circle and come back to the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also see my journey, and that's why I'm so interested in people's journeys, because as a child, while other children were playing, I was reading this book called Many Lives, Many Masters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by Dr. Brian Weiss.
Yes, I
Yeah.
remember. I've read
I
that
was-
book myself. Yeah.
That was the first book that I remember reading.
Oh.
I was a sucker for reincarnation, life after death.
Hmm.
And then you notice what life was constantly preparing you for.
Eh.
And yeah.
Yeah, and here we are.
And here we are. What is your take on life after? Life.
Oh, I believe 110%.
Yeah.
Because it's like I was born and my grandmother tells me when I'm old enough to understand, he's saying, you are my husband. I said, what? 5 years old, and my grandmother is telling me I'm her husband. I said, I'm a female. I'm nothing like a male. But I was like, my masculine side of me was very predominant
Yeah.
when I was a kid, as a teenager as well. And now also sometimes, I find that I am very, very male I'm thinking very much like a male. So I have to put on my makeup quickly and get into my sari and say, no, I'm female, I'm female, I'm female. And then I look at myself in the mirror and say, idiot.
How do you view reincarnation? Because if you believe in life after, I think, yes, you go through the experience of loss, but loss doesn't hit you the way it hits, I say it very loosely, regular people who haven't awakened to that concept. How do you look at reincarnation?
Well, हमारे शास्त्रों में लिखा हुआ है, at some stage or the other, that's what I was told, that it's a karmic thing. It's karma. So if you have done anything which is karmic, whatever,
Karmically bound.
Karmically bound, or you have to take something from someone or give something to somebody, you have to come back.
Right.
And you get into the wheel of life.
Right.
And to get out of that wheel of life, you have to again evolve
Yeah.
spiritually.
Yeah.
And once you evolve spiritually, then you don't stand in line to be reborn.
Reborn.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you said about the cycle of life, because I believe in it so strongly that I've gotten it tattooed on my arm.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Let me see this.
Yeah. I was just like, this is it.
Wow.
Because I truly believe that this is the circle you keep going
Yeah.
round and round in
Yeah.
to learn the 4 most important lessons of to allow, accept, surrender and release.
Oh, absolutely.
These are your 4 biggest
Absolute.
lessons. And when you have really and truly mastered and embodied it is when you're released from the cycle.
And then you are given a choice as to whether you want to be born again or not.
Or not.
Yeah.
And come back to the
Come
cycle.
back to this. Yeah, I know.
I also know that at one point of time, Tanu Aunty, you were practicing Reiki very, very like...
I still do, but Reiki is something, that I don't practice unless somebody asks me for the healing. And that is very important.
Yeah.
It's your willingness to heal. Because what happens where Reiki is concerned, at least where I am concerned, that's my experience of Reiki, is that I channel 10% of the force.
Right.
The 90% comes from you, the willingness that you have to be healed. So my 10% sort of nudges you and says, okay, now I'm helping you here, stand up and walk. So that is how it happens.
Again, so beautiful, because you said so simply a concept which is so deep, because nobody can heal you but yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's something.
And that is what Reiki is basically all about.
See, this is what experience does, because you say such profound things so simply. It is actually.
But then the truth is simple,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes. We
And
complicate
a lot of people complicate it.
Yeah.
So
I think that we go through experiences to get in touch with the concealed knowledge within them. And when you get the knowledge, then it's a choice that you make, or I look at it as a responsibility to pass that knowledge on, because we are just channels of for the knowledge to flow through from all the experiences that you've had till this point. If you had to just distill that knowledge for the younger generation, what is it that you tell them?
well, I don't know. I'm not one to give advice, okay? I don't believe in that. But what I have learnt from these experiences that I created for myself and accepted responsibility for the creation of these experiences is that the only person who can actually teach you anything is you yourself, by looking at your experiences, looking at what you have created for yourself, accepting the responsibility to be who you are.
Recently when I met you, you mentioned something so simply in passing, that you practice self-talk in this very moment on an everyday basis.
Yes, every day.
You spend so much time with yourself just to talk to yourself and realize. Please tell us, what is the importance of self-talk?
Of course it's important, because I'm one person who doesn't listen to anybody. So the only person I listen to is me.
Right.
And Me and we have lots of fights also. Because there are times when me doesn't want to listen to I, and I doesn't want to listen to me.
Yeah.
But we are the only two who can actually, make a difference to our life.
Yeah.
And so I do. I talk to myself.
If somebody would say that outside on the road, they'd be like, "Are you mad? You're talking to yourself."
Yes, I
That's
know
the
they think
conditioning.
it's, but that's the conditioning
That's
of
the
people. No,
conditioning.
oh, ये खुद के साथ बात कर रहा है, पागल होएगा जरूर, जरूर पागल होगा, ना?
Yeah, exactly.
नहीं.
He's actually more evolved.
Of
and
course, I think
connected.
so. Absolutely connected to himself
Self.
as well.
Yeah. So I think all of us need to take some time away from our gadgets
Yes.
and just talk to ourselves.
Yes.
And connect
Because
with
we are the only person we listen to.
Yes, that's so true. Because still you don't want to do it. The whole world can be knocking on your door, but you won't open it.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. There's so much more that I can ask you, but I also realize that there's so much that you've said just by answering these questions that it'll take time for me to decode it in my mind and let it permeate.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much, Tanu auntie, for just coming and talking to me on camera, because I know off camera also, just by observing you, like I've seen you at lunches and social events, just talking to somebody else, and sometimes I'd just be passing and I'd overhear like a keyword, and then that I'm like, oh yeah, that's so true. Like you talk about vibe, you've been talking about vibes, you talk
Yeah.
about so many things.
Yeah.
So I've just picked up these things in the passing, and when I realized and I started doing my self work, I realized that hey, there's somebody here placed around you
Who
who
can
also
always take advantage of.
who I can always take advantage of.
Absolutely, sweetie.
Thank
No
you
two ways
so
about
much,
it.
Tanu auntie.
And God
Thank
bless.
you so much.
God bless.
You too.
I had fun.
Me too.
Yeah.
Any creator needs your love and support to grow and reach a larger audience. And that is why I would request you to like, share, subscribe, and comment on the video below because, well, you don't know who's going to benefit from this content. Also, please don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get notified every time we drop a new video. We also upload our podcast on Spotify so you can hear them as smaller chapters in your own time at home.